Silent Hill is one of those classic games that you're probably only ever going to be able to play on the original PlayStation. With no PC port, or any port for that matter, means we're never going to see a remaster. And with the Silent Hill 2 remake looking like it's on shaky ground already, the likelihood they're going to follow up with the original is pretty slim. So instead of despairing, we're going to embrace purgatory by upscaling and enhancing it as much as possible with the Duckstation emulator. We're going to be applying proper anamorphic widescreen, getting rid of the wobbly polygons and twisted textures, and sorting out the frame rate, which I will be explaining in that section. Now, Silent Hill does have a widescreen cheat, a 60 FPS cheat, and a frame rate unlocking cheat, and we're going to be using none of these. The internal widescreen hack that Duckstation has does a much better job than the widescreen cheat, and you don't want to unlock your frame rate with the other two, because there are a bunch of game mechanics that are tied to it, and going beyond what the devs intended will break some stuff, including the amount of damage that you take with a single hit. We're still going to be sorting out the frame rate, just in a different way. As per usual, we're going to be doing this on a per game basis for Silent Hill specifically, so all of these changes won't mess around with the rest of your games. And we're going to do it so we can see our changes take place in real time. And doing all of this is best from a maximized window when the game is actually running. So go ahead and start Silent Hill and find a good place in game. Once you've found a good spot, you just want to double click on your mouse to go to windowed mode and maximize it if you need to. Then you just go into settings in the top left hand corner and then click on game properties. And any changes that we make here will be made for this game specifically. So move this to one side and then go into the graphics options. Now if I change my internal resolution here, say up to 1080, as you can see it happens in real time, allowing you to see your changes take place right before your eyes, which is really handy. Rather than going through all of these options individually, I'm just going to show you exactly what you need to set so you can just copy me. So irrespective of what you got set for your defaults, you need to make it look like this for your rendering options, this for your advanced options, and this for your PGXP options. However, there are some options that you are free to adjust to your specific preference. The first of which is internal resolution, which I recommend set to your screen resolution. You can change your downsampling, texture filtering, sprite texture filtering, and this scaling option. But keep in mind, if you are using texture filtering and sprite texture filtering, you need to use the no edge bleeding variants, otherwise you're going to break some graphics. But everything as you see it here will give the sharpest possible image. Now if you go over to the Advanced tab, you can also apply some anti-aliasing if you want to. Whether you think anti-aliasing is necessary or not at higher resolution is down to you. For me personally, I set it to ×4 SSAA to take the edge off. After applying all those settings, your game should go from looking like this to looking like this, which in my opinion is much better. And now that we're all done with the visual stuff, we can move on to fixing the frame rate. Silent Hill has an in-game frame rate cap of 30 FPS, which is correct for all of the game mechanics. However, it would often run well below this. So we're going to fix this to 30 frames per second via overclocking. So you want to go over to the console options on the left hand side and then enable clock speed and increase this all the way to 200%. As you can see by doing this, for this scene, we've gone from 20 frames per second to 30 frames per second, which should stay that way for the rest of the game. However, doing this does have one downside. Bizarrely, the devs applied a 60 FPS cap to all of their in-game cutscenes, and we rely upon the clock speed of the PlayStation to dial back the frame rate so it ran seamlessly between gameplay and cutscene. But because we're overclocking, we are going to be seeing those cutscenes run much faster at 60 FPS. And this may be a deal breaker, it may not be. There we go, that was my super quick upscale and enhancements guide for Silent Hill. Now I've already done this for Metal Gear Solid, and I've also got a full graphics options breakdown video for Duckstation. So if you want to know what all of those graphics options do, check that out. And I'll link all of that in the description below. And if you found this video helpful, slam me a thumbs up. And if you want to keep up to date with this, you know what to do. And apart from that, go play some games. Adios.